Tanya Swift, and I'm the founder of Be Inspired and the author of Learning Through Movement and Active Play in the Early Years. In this video, I want to talk to you about routine for young children, about creating routine and sticking to the routine. Now imagine every day waking up and literally not having a clue what your day has in store for you and being pulled in different directions without a moment's notice. Well, this is a reality for most children. Most children, even if they're going to school, they just don't quite know, or nursery, they don't quite know what's going to happen. So creating routine is something that's very, very positive for your child. Now, if a child doesn't have a routine, they won't feel relaxed as they could. They won't feel as able to just get on with the day and explore. If they have even a small idea of what's coming next, what's going to happen, what they can expect from the day, then they can actually just get on with exploring and enjoying the day without any worry, because they have the comforts of knowing that their needs are going to be taken care of. Now, creating a routine can take a bit of time, but it's actually a lot easier than you probably think if you haven't set up a routine. Now, what you could do is you can respond to your child's cues. Usually your child would naturally wake up at a certain time. They usually get hungry at a certain time for snack or lunch. They might have times where they're a little bit more energetic and playful, and then there might be the times where they might just need a nap. So you can really respond to those cues. Then you can also think about having good mealtime routines, and after mealtime clean-up routines where they're involved in the tidying up and the cleaning up. And you could have the routine really have a bedtime routine. A bedtime routine is so important for a child. It really helps them prepare and understand what's about to happen. Now, setting up a routine is really a matter of identifying the time that they're going to wake up, and then you give them maybe some time to just play by themselves in their room, and then maybe breakfast, and then the dressing and cleaning their teeth before or after breakfast. Then you can give them some energetic time, and then maybe snack time, and then a bit more fun and games, that they can choose what they want to do, and then you can have lunch, and then the clean up, and then some more play, or maybe they need a nap time. So you can really have that kind of schedule, and within the meal times and snack times you can then respond to whether they're energetic at that time, so they need energetic play, or a mixture of calm and energetic play, or if they need a nap or a rest time, things like that. So what you could do is, depending on what you've got at home, obviously you want to use what you have, but you can also obviously do a bit of online shopping and use either a whiteboard or a corkboard or some paper up on the wall, things like that, and then you can put it into sections. And those sections then can say or have images showing what each of those parts of the day is, what's going to happen those parts of the days. And then you have discussions with your child, explain to them what's going to happen, explain to them this is what we do most days. And obviously it changes from time to time depending on, when you get back to them going to nursery or school or childminder, things like that. It can change. But it's about that routine when they're at home, specifically for now. And then what you do, it's quite nice to have a moving part. So you could, depending on how, what you've got in the house, you could have something that they can move from section to section so that they've got some control over it and they know what's happening. Or you can do it, so you're giving them the visual cue. I think it's quite nice to involve them in creating it. So, you could draw around their hand, or they could draw around their hand, or point your finger, and then you can cut it out, and then the pointer finger can be stuck with glue tack, or if it's on a corkboard with a drawing pin. and you can move that along. You know, these kind of visual cues are great for young children. Obviously, you want to back it up with some discussion, but it really kind of brings it to life. It makes it a bit more real if you've got these visual cues. Now, what's great about these kind of cues is, be it through the board or your discussion, it can really help your child understand how the day is split up. It can prepare them from transition from one thing to the next. And it can really help them gain a bit more control over being able to understand they're going to wait a little bit longer for something that they might want. So, you know, how many times have you had to call your child in who's having the best time playing outside, but it's mealtime and they really don't want to come? And then it creates this whole drama, which isn't necessary, because what you would do is you would go, okay, in 5 minutes, that's when this part of the day ends, and then we're going to go into having meals. Obviously, it's not always realistic. Sometimes these things go wrong, but generally, if you can create this routine, then they know what's going to happen and they can expect it, and it just becomes part of their day. There's not this non-stop bartering or challenging. It's just, this is what happens and this is how it happens, and it really gives them some kind of expectation of what's going to happen in their day. And yes, there could initially be some resistance, but before you know it, so quickly they will get involved and get on board and understand that this is how it's going to work. And then it just makes them feel more comfortable within their day. This is exactly what's going to happen. So then they can relax and they can try new things. It has such a huge impact on how they feel about themselves. So talking of that, how would creating a routine positively impact children? Now, there's many reasons why it will impact them, but just imagine. So, for example, if your child knows what's coming, they have an input in what they're going to do next. They've got, you know, if they can get involved in the timetable, you know, the on the board, things like that, they will feel like they have more control over their world, and it really can impact on their confidence. You know, a young child who is supported and loved and really feels like they're involved in their day, in the decision making about their lives, really actually feels a lot more confident. It really will impact on their confidence. So, you know, that's one of the things that could benefit them. The other thing, combating meltdowns. Now, there are so many reasons why a child will have a meltdown. You know, it could be because they're hungry, it could be because they're tired, it could be because they're overwhelmed by so much going on, there's just too much going on. It could be because they wanted something to happen and something else is happening and it's all confusing and just too much for them. I mean, there's so many reasons, the list could go on and on and on. But if you take a lot of these reasons out of the equation, you really are going to minimize the potential for meltdown. So if a child understands that dinner time comes after, or snack time comes after they do a certain thing, then they'll be able to hold on a bit longer if they're hungry. If they understand that when they've finished, that they've got 5 minutes left to play and then they have to come in and do something, they will not freak out so much because they know that that's part of their life and they have to do that. It just really gives them these cues and understanding of what's expected of them and what happens in their world. So it can really have a big impact on their emotions and having meltdowns. Then something like bedtime battles. If you create a really, really healthy, calm bedtime routine, and every night the same thing happens, it could be bath, a little bit of calm play, story time, sleep time, you know, things like that. If every single night the same thing happens, or most nights the same thing happens, then it really sets up these cues and expectations of what's expected of them, and they're more likely to sleep, and they're more likely to sleep well, maybe even longer. But you know, a lot of children have meltdowns and things go wrong when they're tired, you know, and actually, to be honest with you, it's the same with us adults. When we're tired, we don't cope so well. So it's not that different. Yeah, I mean, there's just so many reasons why having a routine would really impact on a child. But also, the impact on you as a parent is huge. I mean, imagine, you know, negotiating with your child, you know, sort of responding to their on-the-spot needs all the time. It's exhausting. Dealing with a hangry child and trying to negotiate with them is exhausting. You know, another benefit is a child that's actually, it has a routine, is actually more likely to adapt more. When they feel secure through having routine, when they have to actually deal with small changes and flexibility, they're actually more likely to actually adapt more. It's been shown, there's been a lot of research around this, that actually a child who has routine is generally more confident and secure and relaxed. Hence, any kind of big issues in life or changes or small changes, they can deal with it much more. So actually, having a routine can create more flexibility in your life. So if there's a night where once lockdown is over and you want to go out and it's the first time in a long time, there's a good chance that they'll be okay. They'll be a lot more able to cope with it because they feel secure in the environment. So that's going to have an impact on you. And you know, if you are working from home and you need a schedule, then it means you can fit it around them and you. And you know, things like when you need to be flexible, make sure you have some amazing snack for snack time if you know that you're not going to be able to create them a snack because something else is happening. So you know, it'll actually make you more prepared for these moments that things might go wrong. So you know, there's a lot of things that can be exhausting when it comes to bringing up young children. So if you create that routine, it's really going to make it a lot easier for you. So yeah, have a look at my other videos for other top tips that this can really link to. You know, creating an enabling environment. Once you've set up the environment, and then creating the routine and using the environment in your home for different parts of the day can really, really break up the day for your child and actually keep them engaged and interested, because young children can only stay engaged in a particular activity for a small period of time. So it's really, really a win-win situation creating a routine for your child. It's going to have a huge positive impact on them, and it's going to have a huge positive impact on you. So have a look at my blog on my website. There will be a link down below, and that will give you sort of bullet points of what I've told you and probably a little bit more information. But it's really worth giving it a go. It could really help your child's routine and your routine, and just, you know, getting through a lockdown, but actually just life in general, you know, day-to-day life with a young child. It could make a huge, huge impact. So I hope you found it useful and hope you give it a try. Thank you.